Hey everyone, Jackie I here with Entertainment Scoop, and I am bringing you a special treat. We're talking to designer Nolen Niu, and we're getting the behind the scenes look at his manufacturing. He builds all his furniture here, so if you're trying to decorate your homes, get new furniture, this is the man you want to talk to. You might have seen him on Framework on Spike TV show, and today we're going to get all the behind the scenes look on how he makes these amazing, comfortable furniture. So Nolen, thank you so much for just having us here at your factory. It's humongous.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You have so much room to work. I mean, do you need this much space?
You know, we actually do, because we do get large projects. So most recently we did about 500 headboards. So you can imagine without the space, it gets kind of difficult. And furniture is big. So we have to oftentimes have the ability to move stuff around.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes we may not have completely utilized the space, but it's kind of like that in this business. So sometimes it's completely packed in here, and sometimes it's like this.
Wow, incredible. Now, your kind of designs are very bold, very colorful. It's very different, and it's exciting when you see the pieces. Is it kind of hard to make those steps to be bold like that? You know, you never know if people are going to like it or not like it. How do you make your decisions?
That's a really good question. You know, when I stepped out to do my own furniture collection, I wanted to build pieces that I felt like would be timeless and kind of what would homes look like in the future. And I always had this idea, like, why does American furniture have to be big, brown, and bulky?
Yeah.
You know, that's you know, what your grandmother had and what my parents had. So when I stepped out to do this, that was part of the, you know, DNA of what I wanted to create, which is clean, minimal modern lines. And also the color was just kind of like, as we move forward in the loft generation, these lofts are almost like blank canvases. And so the pieces almost become statements of themselves.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the reason why I was doing them in colors.
So crazy when you think about it. You're actually like an artist and you build things. How do the two kind of come together? Because you can build furniture, like you said, and be bulky and just big, but this is artistic. So do you go to the board and you're like, what's the process of making this beautiful furniture?
Typically it is. It's I start out with sketches. I do a lot of thumbnails. I'm not, you know, it's not like a giant piece of paper. I'm usually sketching on napkins or
Oh, really?
yeah, Post-its or just, it's whenever I get an idea,
Yes.
I'll start sketching. Most of the time it's in the most random times of the day where I'll get an idea and I'll sketch it. And I might revisit it. And then when I start to develop the idea, once I get it finalized on the page, then I move into the digital world and I actually produce a rendering, construction documents, and then we'll make the prototypes.
So take me back to that one moment where you're in the most random place and you're like, I really am inspired off of that wall or that lake, and you made a furniture piece. What is the most memorable moment?
I would have to say I think it was at a restaurant. And you know, I think it was an Italian restaurant, I don't remember the name, but they had the, you know, the paper where they lay down. And it just kind of dawned on me. And I started sketching. My girlfriend's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Wait, wait."
On the paper?
Yeah,
on
the table. You know, it was a piece of paper.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like sketching on it, and I just tear it out, and I took it home.
Oh,
And
wow.
brought it back, and then that's where I started to develop the concepts.
That's
So,
crazy. What piece was that?
that piece actually was this one back here with the kind of the tufted pieces.
Yeah.
So
That's so crazy. So what is your favorite piece? Out of all that you've created, what kind of furniture pieces do you like the most that you would have maybe in your home?
funny enough, I actually have most of it only because it's staged as a showroom.
Oh, okay.
But if I have to pick my personal favorite, it would be the chaise lounge that we sat on earlier, and then also the Exo sofa, which is kind of a very avant-garde piece.
Take me back to the steps of how you even became a furniture designer. Did you always want to do this, or it kind of just blossomed?
You know, it was something I wanted to pursue in college, but at the time they didn't have a course for it. So I studied product design, and from there I was part of the dot-com boom. I caught that.
Okay.
And then I took actually a summer course in Italy. And in that course, that's actually where I got my first taste of furniture.
Wow.
And so I came back to LA and I was like, all right, I need to do some apprenticeships. I need to get around to, you know, different workshops. I did that for about 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
And then in 2005, I officially started my company and started to design pieces. And in '06, I launched in, it was like a curated show in Italy. They basically offer free booth spaces. So I was one of 2 Americans chosen out of 400 entrants. So it was a huge opportunity, and that's kind of where I got my start.
That's crazy. I mean, because there's so many people that want to design and have these like artistic skills, but they don't know where to start or how to go. What advice would you give them? Because especially in LA, I think it is very competitive out here. You have done so much. You just were on a TV show. Like, what would you tell people that really want to do, but they just don't really know what step to take?
I think for a lot of people, a lot of the different designers, they want to try and be the designer of everything. And they don't realize that to be really successful, especially in the design industry, is you need to kind of specialize, right? And for me, my specialty was upholstery.
Okay.
So I wasn't trying to say like, hey, I can design an airplane, design shoes, design a watch. I say, hey, I want to design sofas, and I want to make the coolest sofas out there. And I think that would be my advice, that you pick something that you're super passionate about, and you just work on your craft until, you know, people start to like it.
I would like to see kind of just how furniture is made. So if you don't mind, can you show us a little bit of how it goes down and what's the process of making this awesome furniture?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
So a lot of people ask me, they say, what goes into making a sofa? And what I like to tell people is it's very similar to the human body. You know, just like the human body has bones and muscles and fat, and skin, it's very similar to a piece of sofa. And if you look at it, if you want to make a comparison, the wood of the frame is very much like the bones of our human body. The webbing here is what you would consider our muscle. Then you would have the foam, which is kind of the fat. And then ultimately, you have a layer of fabric on top, which is our skin. And it's really important that the frame, just like our bones in our body, is done very well, because whatever is on the underside of this frame resonates to the surface. So similar to when you break a bone and you start to get kind of anomalies on the surface of your skin, it's the same thing with the frame. So what really goes into a quality crafted frame really has to do with the carpentry work underneath. Hi, I'm Nolen Niu, and you're watching Entertainment Scoop.